welcome back to the next step towards your success this year in 2024 and beyond. Alright, so pretty much in these videos, if you're new here, every video is a step, and I teach the 1%ers, not the 99%ers. So pretty much what happens is 99% of people try to watch my videos and 99% of people fail. So if you're one of those people that are the 1% and are hardworking people and will actually take this knowledge and absorb it properly and not just skip through the video like the 99% of people that have failed, what I want you to do right now is I want you to get your notes out and I want you to listen up and I want you to watch this video from the start to the end, alright? Because if you actually want to achieve success this year in 2024, you have to listen and you have to focus and you can't just quit when it gets hard, alright? So in this video what we're going to be talking about is overwhelmed, okay? That feeling you get when you are overwhelmed, alright? So get your notepads out, get whatever the fuck, get your notes out, get ready to write, alright? So we're going to get into this. This video is going to cut out because I want to write some things down quick. You know what, actually I'll explain this section first, alright? Take these shades off, okay? So the first thing before we get into being overwhelmed, the feeling, what we're talking about is making calculated decisions. So a lot of times what happens to people and what leads them to being overwhelmed is they don't make calculated decisions, right? So as you see on this whiteboard, this is Frank. We'll call him Frank. Frank wants to pursue his business. Frank wants to pursue his fitness goals. Frank wants to pursue his health goals. But the problem with Frank, what Frank does every time, and this is Frank's one of the steps that Frank doesn't know, and Frank doesn't have my videos, and Frank doesn't have the right mental concepts and right framework and mental structure and mental wiring and hardwiring to get over this step and this feeling of overwhelmingness. What Frank does and what leads Frank to becoming overwhelmed, what he does, think of Frank on a path, and Frank is trying to do all these paths at once. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like you? Are you Frank? So if you're Frank, you don't want to be like Frank. So this is why I want you to throw this idea out, and I want you to take notes of this right now. Frank likes to walk every path, right? Frank will go on a path, and then Frank will turn back, and then Frank will walk another path, and then Frank will just never get anywhere. Frank will do anything but walk up the mountain. All Frank will do is walk around it. Or all Frank will do is drift his boat. Because we are boats, we are vessels. And what I want to do on this course, on all my videos, I want you guys on the right path in your boat to sail to your destination, whether that's financial, whether that's health, whether that's fitness. I want you guys to have the right mental framework so you can achieve any goal you want and become unstoppable in 2024 and beyond, alright? So don't be like Frank. What you have to do is don't overcomplicate things and stick to the path and stick to one path and don't overcomplicate it, alright? So make calculated decisions. So this video is about to cut out in a second here, and I'm going to get into overwhelmed, alright? I'm going to explain in depth for free. Like I said, this is why I want you guys to watch from the start to the end, because these videos are free and I don't have to do this. I just want to help you guys succeed this year in 2024, alright? So help me out and do me a favor and watch these videos from the start to the end if you want to be a 1%er, alright? All you have to do is invest your time wisely. But anyways, this video is about to cut off and we're going to get into the second half of this video right now. Welcome to the second half of the video. I hope you follow along, alright? So before we get into this part, I want to make things clear. I am not your friend. I am not your buddy. I'm not going to tell you that it's alright. I'm not going to tell you that it's okay to be weak. I'm not going to tell you let's go party, let's go hang out, let's go do these things, alright? I'm not your friend. I am the person that is here to pull you out of the mud and actually change you this 2024 and make you successful, alright? So let's get that clear. I'm not here to comfort you. I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm not here to do any of those things. I'm not your friend. I'm here to help you and make you successful. That is all I am, alright? So don't think of me as your buddy. Think of me as the person that's going to save your life, alright? So let's get right into the being overwhelmed, alright? So being overwhelmed, I like to call this the paralyzed effect, alright? So a lot of people fall into this trap and get easily overtaken by the feeling of being overwhelmed. So it's such a... But if you actually implement these steps correctly, you can easily overcome being overwhelmed, and you'll look at it as just like something, it's just another step in your toolbox, right? It's just something you gotta step over, right? So a lot of times what happens when people are overwhelmed, they're listening to their own emotions. So in my last videos I talk about how you should not listen to your emotions and throw that idea out the window and stop trying to reassess how you should feel your emotions or how you should care about them, because you should, if you want to be successful this year in 2024, you cannot care about your emotions, alright? So a lot of times what people do when they're feeling overwhelmed, they fall into their emotions. I'm tired, I should relax, I'm depressed, alright? So all that does is lead to procrastination. Or watch my last video on procrastination, right? So what happens, they procrastinate, and what happens when you procrastinate, you get no results, right? So all you're doing, you're throwing down the anchor on your ship, and you're slowly, or you're drifting, or you're steering off the path, and you're gonna end up like Frank, alright? Frank who drinks, Frank who smokes, who eats the wrong thing, Frank who never becomes successful, right? You do not want to end up like Frank. You do not want to be Frank, okay? So, and if your name's Frank, I don't mean that in an offensive way. I just mean, that is an example. It could be any name, okay? So if, like you said, you're listening to your emotions right now and you're getting all upset, like he's using my name, it could be any name, alright? So don't get all butthurt, alright? So the paralyzed effect, you're going to be staying in a neutral state and you're going to walk back down the mountain if you listen to being overwhelmed, okay? So what I want you to write down right now is overwhelmed in your notes, and on the notes I like them to be fun, or not fun, but I want them to not be so hardcore and just like, so you forget. I don't want you to forget your notes, alright? So I want it to be a step on everything you write down. Like put a little step. Put the start, and then at the end, put the end, okay? So it's like a hike, or it's like a sail, or you're like drifting, or you're sailing out to the ocean and you're trying to reach your destination, alright? So what I want you to write is overwhelmed, and write the paralyzed effect, alright? And what I want you to write is, I'm going to cut out for a second. So what I want you to write in overwhelmed, I want you to write, do not listen to your emotions. Step, take action, go. There is no easy way. There's no little tea or fucking drink or pill you can take that's going to get you over being overwhelmed, okay? That's just never going to happen. There's no tea, there's no easy fix to get over these problems. And that's the cold hard truth, and you have to accept that. Alright, so write some things down, and before this, write whatever was before it, because right now I forget what I wrote before it. So, oh wait, what did I write before it? Whatever, this is the end of the video. See you guys. Hope you wrote your notes down. And this video, you're going to have to think for yourself for your notes, okay? So, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you stay successful this year in 2024, alright? See ya. Bye. See you in the next one.